Today's Reddit story comes from the subreddit Petty Revenge. It's titled, My Half-Sister Wanted to Show Up in a Wedding Dress to My Engagement Party, so I changed the party theme so she would fit right in. My half-sister, Heather, and I never really got along. We both are 24. My father left my mother for her mother, and we were born the same month, 20 days apart. It had always been weird. It doesn't help that Heather's mom hates me and my mom. By extension, Heather and I didn't have the best relationship. She has always tried to one-up me. Even though we both have a similar economic background, I can give examples of this, but for the sake of the word limit, won't write them here. So now, my fiance and I got engaged last month and had our engagement party this Saturday. We had planned it originally as a casual, formal event. Nice dresses, but not I am going to the Met Gala ball nice. More like we're going to a good restaurant nice. Anyways, my cousin hits me up saying she has to show me something. It was the picture of the dress Heather was going to wear. This dress, Jesus Christ. It could only be described as an opium. It was long and white, strapless with sewn-in crystals and golden accents. I'm pretty sure it's a wedding dress, but I can't be 100%. This made me really mad. So I decided, F that. I started texting people telling them that there had been a change of plans and that instead of casual formal, I decided to make a costume party. My mom's side is crazy for Halloween, so they were immediately on board. I told my father via text and asked for him to relay the message to Heather and her mother, knowing full well that he would forget or leave it to the last minute. Saturday comes along, guests start showing up, most of them in costumes. Some didn't have time to get one. We just provided them with some fun hats and cheap wigs. Heather, my dad, and her mother came like 1 hour late. As soon as she noticed that everyone was either wearing elaborate costumes or weird accessories and she didn't stand out, she lost it. Especially when my fiance came along and told her that her bride's dress looked amazing for a cheap costume. Whoa. She left crying, and her mother and my father told me that I was being childish and I could have told Heather myself and not have tasked my father. For those interested, my fiance was dressed as Bubbles and I was dressed as Jojo? My mom and aunts went as Abba. Other memorable costumes were Luffy and Zorro, Ian, Malcolm, and John Hammock and Jesus. So the OP does provide an edit and for some clarification. So why did I invite her? It's one of those weird family situations where not inviting them would have been more dramatic. You know, when you try to please everyone. Plus, I still want a relationship with my father, so not inviting Heather and her mother would have made things super difficult and made it so my father would have had to choose. When I kept thinking of it, I noticed that my father wouldn't have chosen me in this scenario, which is why I end up cutting them out. Another commenter who wanted clarification is, will you let her win? Well, the OP responded, no. The point of this is to ruin my half-sister's intention. She wasn't just dressed nicely, as some of you put it. She wore a wedding dress to my engagement party. I'd much rather subvert this whole mess rather than have her smugly sit at the table with her wedding dress. Also, some of you are really hung up on the cheap wig part and ignore literally everything else regarding the party. A minority of our guests wore those cheap wigs, and it literally doesn't matter. We had a blast. After she left, I didn't even think of her again till a few days later. I don't regret the costume party. I wish I'd thought of it earlier, to be honest. Yeah, I totally agree. This half-sister sounds like a complete nightmare. It's all about, I am going to show off. I'm going to definitely one-up you. I'm going to be the center of attention. It's not even your engagement party, you half-sister, Heather. I cannot believe this. Makes me so angry when I read something like that. The OP does provide an update to the story, so let's get into it. I got married. It was an eventful and thankfully drama-free day. My father was not in attendance. After my engagement party, I realized that he would never choose me willingly. Even if he loves me, he doesn't love me enough to stand up for me. He constantly allows his wife and daughter to walk over me and even become abusive. So I wrote him a lengthy email from my old school days email account. It detailed my resentful feelings against him and uninvited him from the wedding. Then I logged out because I know myself. I would be upset with his answer, and if he wouldn't have answered, I would also be upset. I also blocked him and his family from all access, and I went cold turkey, freezing even. I changed phone providers and deleted my social media accounts for a while. He did try to contact me through my mother. She said it was just upsetting. So I told her I did not want to know. So I just cut him off, and boy, my life improved drastically. We had an amazing wedding. Unhinged things that happened after the wedding. I got a cease and desist letter from my half-sister. It was very vague and weird, but we quickly found out that it was only a Google copy and paste. Wow. My stepmother followed me to the supermarket and tried to intimidate me to apologize to Heather. She made the produce wildly uncomfortable. My father tried to pick me up at work. He was walking next to me while I went to my car. He was trying to get me to apologize to Heather and her mother. He said that I should be the bigger person and that I know how both of them are. So I just told him that he must be mistaken because my father is dead. He just stood there as I drove off. Then they started to bother the rest of the extended family. Heather and her mother apparently wanted them to cut me off finally, which backfired completely because now they are cut off, which also means that they are excluded from a lot of family events that they were looking forward to. Plus, they can't use my uncle's cabin. So Heather's mom had allegedly been at her sister's since the whole breakdown. I have to be honest, I don't know how much of this is true. As you know, the toxic gossip train always has to be taken with a grain of salt. I don't know, but I think it's funny. A sad thing is that I don't even miss my father. His absence has made zero negative effect on my life. We did have one more costume party around Halloween, but this time we gave everyone more time and it was even more fun. My mom's side of the family all pitched in. We got a venue and invited a bunch of people. I recommended this totally. I met so many of my cousin's friends who I have kept in touch with. Nothing else has changed. I still have my old job. I am not pregnant. We have the same old apartment. We did redecorate though. So that is it for me. Not all too dramatic. Good for you, OP. I really like the ending. And the half-sister Heather and her mom and dad, her OP's bio dad, deserves everything that they got. I'm glad that OP was able to have a wonderful drama-free wedding without those 3 toxic people trying to ruin it. And how all 3 of them approached OP and expected an apology? What? Are you serious? You guys are in the wrong. I mean, expecting OP for an apology. Seriously. I think they need to look in the mirror and take a really, really, really good look and think about their actions. Anyways, let's see what some of the commenters have to say about this update. First comment says, sometimes the best revenge is just living your best life. Good on you for doing so. So another comment says, why is it always on the person who was wrong to be the bigger person? Congrats. Sometimes cutting out the cancer is the best option. I totally agree to that. Came to say this, another commenter says, if your father ever managed to corner you again, don't be surprised if he tries. Just ask him, are you willing to admit Heather's actions were wrong? If he begrudgingly says yes, then ask, so why do I have to be the one to apologize? Congrats on your marriage. May you have many years together, happy years together. And sounds like you and your dear husband have an awesome sense of humor. I agree. At first, I thought, it's very smart for the OP to change her engagement party theme from an engagement party to more of a costume party. That was good. Then the fact that she stuck to her guns, cut out these toxic people out of her life, had a drama-free wedding, and had another Halloween costume party after her wedding. Perfect. She basically just cut out all the toxic people who were just causing more drama in her life. Good for her, OP. Anyways, I would love to hear what you guys think about the story and what you have done in OP's position. And if you like these type of stories, remember to continue to like and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later.